The Little Colonel 1935 film. The Little Colonel is a 1935 American comedy-drama film directed by David Butler. The screenplay by William M. Conselman was adapted from the children's novel of the same name by Annie Fellows Johnston, originally published in 1895. It focuses on the reconciliation of an estranged father and daughter in the years following the American Civil War. The film stars Shirley Temple, Lionel Barrymore, Evelyn Venable, John Lodge, Bill Robinson, and Hattie McDaniel. The Little Colonel was the first of 4 cinematic pairings between Temple and Robinson, and features the duo's famous staircase tap dance. The film was well received, and in 1994 was available on videocassette in both black and white and computer-colorized versions. Plot. Shortly after the American Civil War, Southern belle Elizabeth Lloyd Evelyn Venable marries a Northerner, Jack Sherman John Lodge. Her father, Colonel Lloyd Lionel Barrymore, disowns her in anger and retaliation. Elizabeth and Jack move west, where they become parents of a girl they name Lloyd Sherman Shirley Temple. 6 years later, Lloyd Sherman is made an honorary colonel in the Army. Elizabeth returns to the South with little Lloyd and settles in a cottage near Colonel Lloyd's mansion while her husband Jack remains in the West prospecting for gold. When Colonel Lloyd discovers his daughter living in the neighborhood, he treats her with disdain. Little Lloyd learns of her parents' past from housekeeper Mom Beck Hattie McDaniel, and, when she meets her grandfather for the first time, throws mud at him. The two eventually become contentious friends. Elizabeth's husband returns from the West with a fever. He has lost everything in his prospecting venture, but the family is saved from complete ruin when the Union Pacific Railroad requests right-of-way across Jack's western property. Jack's former prospecting partners have heard of the railroad's offer and try to swindle Jack. They resort to holding the Sherman couple hostage until the deed to their valuable property is located. Little Lloyd runs through the dark woods for her grandfather, but he refuses to help. He changes his mind when little Lloyd says she never wants to see him again. They arrive at the cottage just in time to save Elizabeth and Jack. The film ends with a brief Technicolor sequence featuring a pink party for little Lloyd, her friends, and her reconciled family. Cast: Shirley Temple as Lloyd Sherman, Lionel Barrymore as Colonel Lloyd, Evelyn Venable as Elizabeth Lloyd Sherman, John Lodge as Jack Sherman, Sidney Blackmer as Swazi, Stephen Chase as Hull, William Burress as Dr. Scott, Frank Darien as Nebler, Will Robinson as Walker, Robert Warwick as Colonel Gray, Hattie McDaniel as Becky Mom Beck Porter, Mail as Becky Mom Beck Porter, Key Mom Beck Porter, 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 Beck Porter. Geneva Williams as Maria, Avani Jackson as May Lily, Nyanza Potts as Henry Clay. Production. The Little Colonel is best known for the famous staircase tap dance between Robinson and Temple. It was the first interracial dance pairing in Hollywood history and was so controversial that it was cut out in the southern United States. The idea was actually first proposed by Foxhead. Sheehan set his sights on Robinson, but unsure of his ability as an actor, arranged for a contract that would be voided if Robinson failed the dramatic test. Robinson passed the test and was brought in to both star with Temple and to teach her tap dancing. They quickly hit it off, as Temple recounted years later. Robinson walked a step ahead of us, but when he noticed me hurrying to catch up, he shortened his stride to accommodate mine. I kept reaching up for his hand, but he hadn't looked down and seemed unaware. Fanny called his attention to what I was doing, so he stopped short, bent low over me, his eyes wide, and rows of brilliant teeth showing in a wide smile. When he took my hand in his, it felt large and cool. For a few moments, we continued walking in silence. "Can I call you Uncle Billy?" I asked. "Why, sure you can," he replied. "But then I get to call you darlin'." It was a deal. From then on, whenever we walked together, it was hand in hand, and I was always his darlin'. During the filming, Temple drew the ire of veteran actor Lionel Barrymore when she prompted him for one of his lines after he forgot it, causing him to storm off in a fit of anger. Temple was sent off to apologize to Barrymore, but instead of directly apologizing, told him she thought he was the best actor in the world and asked for his autograph, diffusing the situation and bringing Barrymore onto the set. This film made brief usage of early Technicolor film, which required heavy usage of red-hued makeup for the actors. It would be the only time that Temple would wear makeup on the set of her Fox films. Release. Distribution. When screened for audiences in southern states, to ensure the film's widest distribution, Fox removed the staircase scene where Temple and Robinson touch hands. Critical responses. Andre Senwald, in his New York Times review of March 22, 1935, thought the film all adrip with magnolia whimsy and vast, unashamed portions of synthetic Dixie atmosphere. He further wrote that the film was so ruthless in its exploitation of Miss Temple's great talent for infant charm that it seldom succeeds in being properly lively and gay. He finished his review noting the audience applauded for a full 11 seconds after the final fade out, and that the film ought to bring out the best in everyone who sees it. Home media. In 2009, the film was available on videocassette and DVD in both the original black and white version and a computer-colorized version of the original. Some versions included theatrical trailers and other special features.